we should be back. Sorry about that, everyone. There's some major technical issues with Steam and Streamlabs and everything. So we've got it back. We've done one-shot qualifying, so the order is a bit different, and I believe Pixel watched it. So I think Satoshi on pole, Justin P2, and Jonah P3.
Yeah, so at least to some extent, more or less, close enough to the order it was in the previous session. So everyone's had a fair go at it again with the one shot, so we'll just go with this. So Satoshi had the measure of everyone in one shot, did a 9.7, which in one shot is quite a good lap. Justin P2. Hammer time 44 was looking strong in quali until the last sector. He got a bit loose in the swimming pool, and that kind of dented his lap. So coming around to end the formation lap. Sanix P11, he had major woes in qualifying, but hopefully he can show us a bit better form in the actual race itself. So we'll soon find out. The grid is forming up. Oscar is pulling into position. Joel's still starting soon screen.
What? I literally...
lights are out. And away we go. Satoshi with a good start. Jonah with a great launch as well. And gets it Justin, or does he? Justin manages to hang it around the outside. Clean gets away. In the back, but Fropsy gets around Larson now. And Chris dive on the inside of Hammer. They run too wide in Mirabo. And Eddie's gone round. Hammer has spun him round and put the Renaults in the wall. So not the cleanest of driving from Hammer. A little bit sketchy, to be honest. But in that carnage, Sanix has made a position, but there's no big gap between Jonah and Fropsy. 5 seconds almost. And Hammer has just completely cut the chicane, and it's a VSC now. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh my word, there's been some...
carnage.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's been absolute carnage. And for Chris with a 5-second bounty now. Contact with Lynx as Fropsy pits. To be expected, he was kind of put in the wall. Some questionable driving in the Lowe's hairpin, I have to say. That was quite sketchy. Satoshi is leading and the VSC is over. Let's see exactly when that happens, but in any case, back in green flag racing. Justin on his gearbox, Jonah close behind as well, and then 5.5 seconds back to Larson in P4. A little bit of a carnage, but in that, Lynx and Sanix have profited. They're up a couple of positions now. Sanix started last, up to P7. Eddie, presumably quite upset with how that went. He was an innocent passenger and all that, but paid the price in any case for the contact. No, it wasn't his fault. And Sanix with a bit of a tap on the barrier there. Justin now hot on the heels of Satoshi, but runs really deep in turn 1. This is a bunch of time.
No, Sanix has just lost the rear end at the last corner, so he'll manage to fend off Eddie.
Yeah, difficult to overtake here, as we've said. It's Lynx doesn't look the most comfortable, nor does Sanix, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. So Sanix has a look, but doesn't do anything with it. And it takes quite an odd approach to the chicane, so that's, or the hairpin, I should say. That's interesting. So, yeah, still close between Sanix, Eddie, and Lynx, all covered by a second. And Satoshi sets the fastest lap 13-0. Looking to stretch the legs, but Justin is keeping him pretty honest at this point. Not really much to choose between them. It's keeping with and overtaking in Monaco are two entirely different propositions. Jonah falling back just a little bit off Justin.
Yeah.
But that might just be a case of self-preservation for now, preserving his tires and not risking anything. And Eddie gets by Sanix in the end, so Sanix had
Sanix
some
has
kind
got
of
front
issue.
left wing damage.
Yeah, so Sanix struggling a little bit. He doesn't seem entirely comfortable. He's actually missing both his end plates, so not really happy hunting for Sanix right now, it must be said. And Justin continuing to hound the back of Satoshi, but just he gets close and then the gap rubber bands again, and it's just not enough.
Yeah, it
to
seems
really
like
be able to affect anything.
Jonah has got onto the back of them now as well, so he's going to be looking to join the fight.
Yep. And yellow flags in sector 2, that's Fropsy. He's gone around in the Nova chicane, so I would suspect he caught the barrier on the inside on the turn in. But it doesn't look like he has any damage. Well, actually, I say that he has missing front left end plate, so be missing a little bit of grip. Decides to continue on. So rely on that. Sanix is pitted with that front wing damage, gone to medium, so he's going to have to pit again. They won't make it to the end. And Satoshi the gap up to 0.8 of a second. I say that, it comes back down again. It's seesawing quite a bit between himself and Justin. There are parts where he's stronger and parts where Justin is. It's always between half a second and 0.8, it seems to be.
Yeah, and Eddie's on the back of the Mercedes as well. Maybe might go for a move. No, I won't go for a move there.
Yeah,
he's closing massively out of the exit from the chicane, but it'll be oh, the Mercedes gets it all wrong.
Yeah.
Eddie losing a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a very brave or a very reckless man who goes for a move into back. It's very much a one-line corner.
Yeah. Now he'll be wanting to get him into turn 1.
Had a look, but the Mercedes kind of covering that off a little bit late, I would say.
This is defensive driving from the Mercedes.
If ever I've seen it.
Yes, definitely.
Quite robust, it must be said, but Eddie, maybe an opening here, not quite. Yeah, thought better of having a look there. Better just to bide his time. If he can get a good drive off Portia 2, he might have a challenge down into the Nova chicane, but the gap opens up just a little bit too much. Saying that, he has a lot of closing speed, but yeah, still too far back. Really, he's relying on mistake from the Mercedes at this point if he wants to get past. Saying that, he's very close again into back, and hammer time is right on the back of him now. You can tell he's a Lewis fan. And Jonah pitting quite early. That's somewhat aggressive undercut. Not sure if those tires will make it to the end, but interesting strategy by Jonah nonetheless. In clean air now, so he can try and mount the challenge to Satoshi. And Eddie's managed to get past Lynx, and so is Hammer Time now. So I expect they'll probably drop him reasonably quick. They have a bit more pace than Lynx does. Still up front, the gap is less than a second.
Yeah, I've just had to change some audio settings because of that Discord bug glitch just started now, which is always what we want to see. So just let me know if the game sound is too high. There's a Mercedes around, and that will be Lynx.
Yeah, Lynx is having struggles at the minute. He is a tier 3 driver. I don't think he has much preparation done for tier 1 to be, or tier 2, I should say, to be honest. So struggling a little bit. Hopefully his pace is a little bit better in tier 3 next week.
It looks like Fropsy is wanting to get past him very quickly.
Yeah,
Surprisingly, we haven't seen any DNFs yet. So
yeah,
oh, that was nearly one.
And that was yeah, that was sketchy to put it lightly.
Oh no, a dive down the inside, and they're just wheel banging. This is going to the steward, surely.
Yeah, that's quite ridiculous, to be honest. Not very good driving on either account, I have to say.
Oh, they do say bumping is racing, but not that much. What's he doing?
Yeah, and Link is lagging a lot, so it might just be that he doesn't see Fropsy.
Yeah, could be.
Still, more than robust driving.
And Jonah's about to get past Tild as he sets the fastest lap round the outside. He does that very easily. So looks like Jonah might get the undercut and even take the lead when everyone pits. But if he's going to get to the end on those mediums, that's going to be a big ask.
Yeah, but 12.9 is quite exceptional pace on mediums, it has to be said. So he's only 16 seconds. Larson had an issue of some kind, but yeah, Jonah very much stating his claim for the podium. And a couple of pit stops, Fropsy and Lynx as expected. Sanix also, he's had struggles of his own. And Satoshi now pitting, so he's responded to that threat from Jonah, but I suspect Jonah might actually jump the two of them.
I think so, and Justin has stayed out, so that'll be interesting to see where he re-emerges. But yeah, Jonah's coming out the pit lane, well, coming past the pit lane now, and Satoshi is coming out of it. He sets the fastest lap, and he's way ahead of Satoshi.
Yeah, 12.6 is a very impressive pace on mediums at this point in the race. So Jonah
and
really
actually, Satoshi has even come out behind the Williams.
Yeah, so Satoshi, probably not too happy about that. We want to clear Tilda reasonably quick if he can manage it, although Tilda should pit soon enough.
And the only worry for Jonah now is making it to the end on these tyres.
Yeah, it'll be a long way to bring them, but if he can do it, it'll be very impressive.
No, Satoshi's looking to the inside in the tunnel.
It's not. Yeah.
That's very risky.
Yeah, it's always going to end in tears, but gets it done around the outside on the braking for the Nova chicane. Nicely done by Satoshi.
As Justin comes into the pits.
Yeah, it was a matter of time. Jonah now just 11 seconds behind.
Oh, they're changing his wing as well. So I assume he's going to be a long way behind Satoshi.
Yeah, probably behind Tilda even,
yeah.
I would suggest. Unless Tilda pits, which he does not. So Justin going to lose another position. Starting back out in P4, Hammer Time just behind, but shouldn't get him. Yeah, so Tilda's somewhat out of position at this point. The only driver not to pit as yet. So
the gap is
uh,
5.4 seconds at the front, so that's a massive undercut from Jonah.
if Jonah can make these tires last to the end, then he's really pulled a blinder there. Impressive stuff. And I haven't seen any penalties for the main contenders so far, and Satoshi cut it quite fine with that barrier there, trying to push on. It's saying that Sanix gets a penalty, but he's well down the order, so I don't think it matters a great deal. And I think it's Charles Leclerc catching the inside barrier and Raskas. He's now been lapped by his teammates as Hammer Time gets a 3-second time penalty, so that won't help his conundrum. Satoshi responds to Jonah though with fastest lap and is closed down by 7/10.
Until finally pits, so that will free Justin to go after Satoshi, but 8.1 seconds is the gap.
Yeah, quite a significant gap. Justin is quick, but that's a tall order, nonetheless. So the running order as you have it, Jonah, Satoshi, and Justin are your top three. Hammer Time currently in P4, but those tires I suspect won't last to the end, so he's going to have to pit again. And he's picking up a couple of penalties and making some mistakes, so don't expect that P4 to last. Clarkson, usually quite a consistent driver, keeps his nose clean in P5, so you can expect him to get some decent points today. And a comfortable gap back to Eddie. Justin making some inroads on Satoshi, about half a second, maybe a little more. In fact, I say that it's probably about a second he's caught Satoshi by. Yeah, 11.8. That's quite impressive pace.
So Sanix is about to be lapped by Satoshi. He lets him go, and he has more wing damage, does Sanix, so it's not a good day for him.
No, yeah, not happy hunting for Sonic so far. Struggled quite a bit, and Jonah just about to lap P10. What? Yeah, quite a spread in pace in the field today, it must be said. And Justin continuing to close on Satoshi. Satoshi just inching ever closer to Jonah, not by a lot, but
It's
just
more Justin
nipping
closing
away.
than on Satoshi.
Yeah, there is definitely a bit of a compression in the top three,
I
slowly but
think
surely.
if Justin can get past Satoshi, I think he has a good chance for the win on 4-lap
Yeah,
fresher tyres.
yeah, I definitely think Justin can catch Satoshi, but it's an entirely different proposition to pass him. It is Monaco, and also Satoshi very robust in his defense.
Yes.
Well, still plenty to play for, and it's not guaranteed yet what way it's going to shake out. Uh, Good, consistent driving by the top three so far, and Justin's pace is very impressive, it must be said. It's, getting a bit loose in Sportia 1 there. He's pushing on, you can definitely tell that much. Jonah not appearing too concerned by any threats from behind. He does have a gap, and he's not pushing too hard, just focusing on making those tires last. It is somewhat borderline for him to make it.
Yeah,
Saying
and
that,
yeah, Formula
to
Chris started on the. No, he didn't start on those hards. He's had to make an early pit stop.
yeah, there was the shenanigans early on with Hammer Time and Eddie and the Renaults. So he
Yes.
had to pit for damage, and he's chosen to take the hard tires. Probably his best bet of a decent result, I have to say. But Yeah, he's a long way down.
And Sanix is pitting again. So I wouldn't be surprised if he retires. He's replacing his wing again.
Yeah, probably the 4th replacement wing, I would guess. But fair play to him, he is trying. Yeah, that's his 4th stop, and I don't know where he's getting all these medium tires from.
It's probably just swapping between the same set.
Yeah, probably.
And
I would guess.
Larsen's closing in on hammer time quite quickly as well. His hammer time, he hasn't. Well, he has pit. He pit lap 1, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he has pitted, but there's no way those tires make it to the end. Not in a month of Sundays, as Martin Rundle says. So, yeah, he can certainly try. But as you say, Larsen closing in. Justin, in the 5 laps he's been running on those tires, he's closed the gap to Satoshi by about 3 seconds, which is a fair rate of knots, if you ask me.
Seems to be losing a bit of momentum. But yeah, obviously his tyres will go off, but it's just 1 lap fresher than Satoshi, so it shouldn't make much of a difference pace-wise. But obviously if he's faster naturally anyway, he will catch him.
Pace-wise, there's no difference there, but Justin is driving it a bit harder by the looks of things, so he might wear out his tires a bit more. So they should come to a reasonable degree of parity, I would suggest. And Larsen really reeling in hammer time now. Got the gap by a second. And looks arguably the more comfortable of the 2 drivers, I would say. Pushing on. Just outside that DRS, you won't get it this lap. C picks up a 3-second time penalty, but well down the order and running in a big gap, so really won't affect things that much.
So his hammer time is struggling into the hairpin on most laps actually, with his braking and his lines.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure just watching the way he's driving, he's on a controller, which explains the difficulties in the hairpin. It's difficult enough with a wheel, if any of you have tried it, but add the turning rate of the pad into the mix and that becomes altogether more difficult. You can see his car is just very unsettled. It's like he's overdriving it a lot.
Larsen will get DRS on this time. But DRS doesn't help you much here at Monaco. It's only on the start-finish straight. Larsen might go for it here.
He's going for it.
Oh, he's done well to avoid a collision there.
Yeah, I think Larsen somewhat scared him. He wasn't ready to go into that corner too wide. And he's paid the price for it. Larsen having another look, but not close enough. He's not going to throw it down there. That would be a bit of a ridiculous move. So surely you'd think Larsen might have him into the Nova chicane. Twice the overtake. A little bit of a gap, but he's closing. Closing all the time, and he's right there. Hammer tries to run it around the outside, but
he locks up.
And Larsen. Yeah. Quite clinical in the end. Good driving.
He's got damage as well as hammer time.
Yeah. So not a surprise there that Larsen gets through in the end. And now we look to bolt off. Justin now not quite so rapid as he was catching Satoshi earlier. He's burned his battery, so that probably explains why.
So Sanix has now been lapped by the car ahead of him. Oh, and he's just got more damage. This is... Oh my word.
Yeah, Salnix is vibing, we could say. You have to think at this point, really, he's just torturing himself.
Yes.
Yeah, Satoshi not really making any inroads on Jonah, but Justin, as ever, chipping away now under 4 seconds.
And the battle between Larson and Eddie is going to be interesting when they... Because Eddie is closing.
Yeah,
But I think this is about the limit of where Larson can finish this race with a 20-second gap ahead. Unless, of course, safety cars.
Yeah, unless there's a safety car. This is largely the order you would expect to see, and Sanix just saying in chat now he forgot to put on his setup, which probably explains his difficulties.
Why don't you go out on the wet, Sanix? That would be an idea.
Yeah, do it, Sanix. Go on. Wet all day. And Justin now within 3 seconds. It's 2.6 the gap, so he's started closing down quite quickly again. Yeah, Justin undoubtedly the fastest car on the track at the minute by some margin.
2.3 now, so he's really closing in quite rapidly, as you say. He's out of ERS though, which isn't such an issue at Monaco, but when he wants to overtake, if he gets close enough, he's going to have to save his battery before he gets up to Satoshi.
Yeah, he's going to have to exercise a little bit more discipline for the next few laps on that overtake button. Try and chart it up again for an assault on Satoshi. You can see Satoshi now. He knows the job in hand. It's a question of whether or not he can do it.
Hammer Time is out in the pit lane, so it shouldn't be a safety car.
Yeah, should be fine. That's drawing a rather unfortunate conclusion to a rather unfortunate race for him. And Justin, 1.2 seconds now.
Everyone is going to finish in the points this race, so...
Yeah.
So Satoshi is still losing time to Jonah, really, isn't he? So I wonder if Justin is going to be quite forceful with this overtake. If he thinks he has the pace to win, he's got to get on with it now. He can't afford to be staying behind for Satoshi for 3 or 4 laps, because the rest of the race, the time in the rest of the race won't be there to catch up and pass Jonah if he thinks he can.
Yeah, but Satoshi will defend this hard, make no doubt about that, and Justin will need to be careful. Doesn't want to throw away a good result.
That was close on the exit of the chicane. He got...
Yeah, got a bit squirrely, but kept it going. Yeah, he's seeing...
Oh, Satoshi, what's he done? I think Satoshi's disconnected for me.
Well,
on my
Satoshi
screen.
gets it very wrong. Strange, a bit of ghosting there. Wheel banging there, and Justin gets the position. Didn't take him very long in the end.
Yeah, and I'd assume Justin will pull away now, quite quickly.
Yeah, you'd expect, but that has caused a lot of time. So the gap up to 7 seconds. This top 3 very much bolting away from the rest of the grid. The gap to Larson has gone up to about 24 seconds. from Satoshi. So Jonah looks very comfortable at this point, you have to say. It doesn't really look like he's having to push it too hard. Justin is coming though. He's not waiting around. And Fropsy about to add himself to the list of lapped cars. Jonah just a couple of seconds behind. Yeah, Satoshi not really mounting a
Oh, and
challenge.
who's that? Is that Chris? No, it was Fropsy. So he's just made a mistake.
Made a mistake or maybe let Jonah through.
Yeah, probably.
Uh,
Oh no, he
one or
has
the
no
other.
wing. Well, most of it's gone.
So it made a mistake and let Jonah through, I would guess. It's a 2-for-1 deal. And yeah, Justin sliding into Jonah's lead in the middle sector. Pulled out about 7/10 of a second, nearly 8.
Thank
And
goodness for
continuing to push
ghosting,
on.
because Justin would have lost like a few seconds there if Fropsy wasn't ghosted.
Yeah, well, he would have lost more than that. He lost a wheel.
Sanix, guess what he's doing? He's in the pits again.
Go on, Sonny, put on some.
Give us some entertainment before Justin catches Jonah. If
Seeing that Jonah has responded, he's pushed the gap up another 3/10.
yeah, so
Well,
I
a
think
bit more
Jonah's
than that,
just
actually.
trying to manage his tyres and get to the end.
Yeah. So he can afford for Justin to chip away because he has that 7 seconds advantage. So pace is not the concern for Jonah. The concern is just keeping it out of the barriers, keeping the tires alive until the end of the race. Justin, not quite so predisposed to managing his tires. Big lock up into the Nobel chicane. He's pushing on. And Larson actually slowly chipping away at Satoshi, but the gap is 22.5 seconds still, so probably not going to be a change to there. Certainly not at this point in the race. And yeah, just a fluctuation of a couple of tenths between Jonah and Justin. Jonah definitely seems the stronger of the two in Sector 1. That's where he's finding his time back. It's all rather settled down now. There's no one running too close to each other. Really, the closest pairing of cars is Justin and Satoshi, about 2 seconds between them, so no battling for now. Just a pace game. A little bit of drama earlier in the race, but it's all settled down somewhat. 10 runners left, so everyone gets a point. Cue the Oprah gift now. Hammer time, an unfortunate retirement, but questionable driving on his part, so you have to wonder what might have been if he could have kept his nose a bit clean, because it didn't seem like his pace was too bad, although he did seem to be struggling a little bit in terms of his stability. So that's what happens sometimes. In any case, 27 laps in now. Just 12 more to go. So we're well into the race, short of quite a bit, and really the gap between Jonah and Justin not changing. Jonah looks very comfortable. If if you were to put money on it, you would say Jonah easily. But, nothing is over yet, and you never know. The safety car could spice up things quite a lot. So nothing is for certain yet. Fat Lady hasn't sang.
Link's getting a wing change. Comes out just behind Satoshi.
Yep. Not for a position, mind you, he is a lap down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, judging by the time, probably 2 laps down. So either way, if he can get it to the end, he'll get some points for his troubles. And just curious to see what the penalty situation is up front. I don't believe there are any. Jonah, just 2 warnings this race so far.
And Justin has just dipped
Justin
into the
actually,
5 seconds for the first time in this race. He just dipped into, there we go, he's at 5.9 is the gap now, so looks like he's going on another push.
yeah, crucially though, Justin does actually have a penalty.
Does he?
Oh, 3 seconds, yeah, he's a penalty and a warning. And Satoshi, no penalties, just 2 warnings. Yeah, so Satoshi, if you can close that gap up just a little bit, you might yet have a shot at second place. Crucially, Jonah, he can let Justin catch up, he just needs to make his car as wide as possible, because once he can hold that 3-second gap, the win is his.
Let's have a look at stops here. So this is Sanik's 9th stop in the race.
Yeah, good stuff, Sanix.
Nearly a record, probably.
Yeah, I'd hazard a guess as to say that's not the plan he had for this race. What you reckon?
8 stops for the win. Now, Eddie is closing in on Larson bit by bit.
Yeah, so he's been chipping away. It's been quite slow, but he has made some progress. Well, towards the end, something might happen there. Eddie looking actually quite smooth, it must be said, in his driving. He's not really making any mistakes. He's pushing on.
So the gap down to, well, 5.7. He's closing slowly, but of course Justin has the penalty. So it's going to be a big ask for him to win the race.
Yeah, I wouldn't place my money on Justin to win this one if I was a betting man.
That's Satoshi in the pits. Now, he does have the gap behind him, so
Yeah,
it seems
is
like a
free
sensible decision. And if he's rapid enough, he might actually catch back up to Justin. But looked like he was serving a penalty there.
5-second penalty, yeah. So choosing to get that out of the way now. Still emerge comfortably
Well,
ahead of
Larson might be ahead actually.
Quite close, really. Yeah, Larson has it.
So Larson up into the podium places. He'll surely be defending for his life now.
Yeah.
But
so,
Satoshi obviously on fresh soft is going to be so much quicker.
If I was Eddie, I'd be watching this with interest. Maybe Satoshi can open the door
The gap
for
at the
him.
top is down to 4.6. So something must have happened in that lap. Either Jonah deciding that he's got enough so he can back off, or maybe a mistake from someone.
Yeah, here comes Satoshi. Having a look around the outside in the tunnel. He's going to get it done. And in the end, quite clinical. Eddie's caught Larson a little bit and all that, so he has profited. About a second, he's caught. And Satoshi is already bolted on. Eddie very close now, 1.2 seconds the gap. 1.2, 1.3. Almost there within the DRS. It's not particularly powerful here, but there is an advantage to be gained from it. And, you might expect that Satoshi will get the fastest lap here. Should be the case. Obviously, with the newer, softer tires, he is catching Justin about the gap 28 seconds, so it's not really going to mean anything ultimately. And as expected, fastest lap for Satoshi, 10.9.
Yeah, I think he tried on that lap because he's used all his ERS up now.
Yeah, it's just only a second faster than Justin, who had a lot more fuel on the medium tires when he set his fastest lap. So Justin looks like the pacier of the two, and he's closing Jonah, but it doesn't look like enough, I have to say. So, odds on how many stops Sanix will have done by the end of this?
15, probably.
I
think he just pits.
Halfway already.
He just pits every time he gets wing damage, so he's basically pitting every 2 laps.
Well, in fairness to him, he's gone 8 laps on this. Well, that's the tire age, never mind.
Yeah.
I think he's used those tires more than once.
Yeah.
So, not representative, shall we say.
So Eddie's within 1 second now, and Justin is within 3.8. Make that 3.7 now, 3.6. So the gaps are closing up. We might see some interesting battles towards the end of the race.
Yeah. Eddie with a sniff of the DRS, not quite in there now, but he's tantalizingly close. Yellow sector 3, and it's Sanix. He's
again,
the wrong way
Austin Powers.
Yeah. Gets a turnaround though. But, is it another pit visit? It is, so that will make 10 stops for Sanix. Well, he's certainly trying. You can't deny him that.
Yeah, I'm just not sure he's gonna close up 2 laps to the car ahead.
Doubtful, I would say. And the gap between Eddie and Larson has stagnated a bit. It hasn't really gotten under that 1 second mark.
So I think Jonah's got this win sealed, really, with the 3 laps left and a gap of 3.4. And Justin has that 3-second penalty. So if he keeps it clean, he should bring this home.
Yeah, it's been quite an impressive drive from Jonah, I have to say. And started P3, made his way up, and used that really aggressive undercut to get the track position and create a comfortable lead for himself. So in my view, he'd be a strong candidate for driver of the day with that.
Yeah.
Driving hard will get you places, but arguably driving smart gets you further, as is the case here.
Well, Justin is pushing very hard.
Yeah, no denying that, but it just doesn't look at this point like it's going to be enough, unless Jonah has some kind of tire troubles right at the death of this race, but I wouldn't bet on it with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, I'm sure he's kept care of his tyres to make it towards the end.
Yeah. And like you see at certain points, Justin's not even really gaining. It's a very specific point. So Jonah still has strong pace when he needs it. And Satoshi, as expected, closing at a fair rate of knots on Justin, but that's with the benefit of much younger, fresher, softer tires. And still the gap 18 seconds, so really makes no difference.
Yeah, and Eddie caught up to Larson within 1 second, and he made a mistake, so he's dropped back to 1.2.
Yeah, it's just kind of held off at that range for the last couple of laps. It never really threatened to get under the 1 second that much. So no change in position between the two there, and it's coming up to time for Eddie to start making a final push for that. It's only 2 laps left. So if he wants it, he better take it now. And I think Justin has spent the best of his tires now. The gap has gone up slightly to Jonah. It's been a good try from Justin, but I don't think it's enough. And yeah, picks up another time penalty while he's pushing on, so that rather confirms that it's not going to be his win today. So should be a pretty comfortable P2 in any case.
Yeah, and well, Eddie's within the 1 second margin now, but oh no! He's just span on the well, he's hit the wall on the entry to the chicane. It's very easy to do, and just hope he doesn't have a puncher, which it doesn't look like he does, but obviously he's lost that time to Larson now.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be a P5 for Eddie today. It's very easily done to catch that inside barrier, to be fair, especially when you're looking for every inch of time.
Yeah.
And Lynx has retired right at the end of it.
Yeah, right at the
Lap left
entry to the
go,
pit lane.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a safety car now, so... Who else is that? That's Fropsy, is it?
Fropsy's been that as well, yeah. So he'll have to limp on home to the flag. No wing left. But Jonah, just about to come around Anthony Noge. And